I am a former William Patterson student. I came here for my undergrad as well as my MBA. I worked at a hedge fund in the long equities position. I did valuation work where I valued illiquid debt and equity securities for private equity funds, business development corporations, pension funds, asset managers, things like that. And we're gonna, if you don't know terms, it's fine. We're gonna get there. I also was an investment banker, so I did mergers, acquisitions, and investment banking. I mostly focused in the healthcare industry, where I advised companies on getting acquired by other firms. And currently, I work at a place called Lafayette Square, which is a startup fund, and I work on the investment team, and we make investments in private companies. We make investments in debt and equities companies. So Lafayette Square, just as a kind of background, is a impact fund. So impact meaning ESG, which is environmental, social, and then governance. We're really focusing on the S of that, social. So we're a minority-owned fund. We have about 50 people. It's very diverse, both on male, female, black, white, Asian, Indian, very, very focused on being a diverse fund. We have 3 goals at our fund. One is to house 100,000 people in affordable housing projects by 2030. We have a goal of creating 100,000 jobs. And then we have a third goal of funding a 1,000 minority-led or female-led funds. So this is the impact we're trying to make. This is a very long-term thing. Obviously, given a lot of things that have gone on in the country over the past year or two, our founder, and I'm just going to actually pull it up just quickly so you're aware of where I work and what we do. I think it's important. Let me just do this. So let me just share this screen real quick. Share. Okay, so this is where I work. It's Lafayette Square. We call it impact-driven capital. It's really place-based capital. So the idea is that we're going to be investing in communities throughout the country. There's going to be 10 funds throughout the country, and each of those funds are going to be investing in those cities. So if you think about New Jersey, this is going to be the Empire Fund. That'll be New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. Our firm was founded, I'm just going to pull up the team, by Damien Dwin, an extremely successful individual. He started this fund. He had another fund that he started. It was a credit fund, and did very well with it. And then he split with his partner and he created a new fund. So he's our founder and CEO. You know, I'm here somewhere on this website. Down here I am, right here. So that handsome guy right there, that's me. But it's a cool fund. So yeah, I mean, you know, you can kind of look around if you see some people or you're interested in something or you want to learn something from someone, you can let me know and I could try to get you in contact with them. So it's just something to think about. So as I said, I just want to kind of start a little bit on the career stuff because I think it's important, or more important than anything you're going to learn today, and over the next 2 days, I should say, because it's difficult. Work and finding a job and all that stuff is not easy. So we're just going to have a quick discussion on that, just kind of introducing ourselves to each other and kind of what our goals are and things like that. So I think it's important to think yourself, as I was mentioning earlier, but this is again repeated for the Zoom people. I think it's important to think of yourself as a competitor on a field in a sporting event, and you're all trying to score a goal, and that goal is finding a job. And as I mentioned, it's that all students who graduate are going to try to find the same job. So you need to differentiate yourself one way or another. How do you differentiate yourself? That's kind of up to you. There's obviously ways, and we can kind of talk about that. But I think it's most important to have a story. You need a story. Stories are important in life. Narratives are important in life. You need a narrative. We talked about this. Immigrant from India. It's beautiful. That's how you should start off every single conversation you ever have with any employer ever. I came from India in 2015. I run that immigrant story. You need to tell, because when you this is messaging, right? So what's immediately when somebody thinks immigrant, they think of struggle, they think hard work, they think not knowing a language, they think of coming from another place, they think of all those things, all those hurdles you had to jump over. So realistically, these are all these things that are kind of queuing in someone's mind right away. So it's like, oh, you're going to be able to do this job probably pretty easily. If you're not an immigrant, well, then what's your story? What is different about you? We're all different. We all have something. So you got to be able to tell the story. And I think it's important. People have said this before, saying things in the mirror, repeating it and repeating it and repeating it, because you want it to be fluent in your own story. If you can't tell your own story, it's going to be very hard in an interview, right? You need stories. They're super, super important. You need to build a narrative around you. And when you build those narratives and you build those stories, it just helps someone connect. Now, this is part 2, connection. Connection is important. It's good to have something that you can connect with an employer, right? Or a manager or someone, right? It's something. It could be as simple as we come from the same town. It could be simple as an immigrant story. If you speak to somebody from India, they're going to connect with you on something. If whatever that connection is going to be good. If you speak to William Patterson students, it's going to be better for you than talking to someone from Harvard, right? Because William Patterson is going to understand your story a lot better than someone from Harvard is going to. So these are kind of these things that you really need to kind of create, formulate, and think about. And it's super important when you're interviewing. I mean, did you have any particular story you told about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I have a similar background. I came from Haiti in 2015, and actually, we don't actually learn English in Haiti at all. So I started from scratch a few years ago, and it was very hard. So I always tell that story, and I am from a single mom family, so that makes part of it.
Okay, but you know what? But that's all important. Why? Because you're telling a story, right? You're telling someone, this is what I am. These are the things I've overcome to get here. And I think it's super important because again, it's all about differentiation. How are you differentiating yourself? And what did I say at the top is that you need to be able to communicate that you're a hard worker, right? That you are accountable and that you can do the job. But you can't just say I'm a hard worker. Everyone says that, right? You can't just say I'm accountable. You can't just say these things. You have to show them in one way or another. So make sure when you're out there trying to find a job, whether or not it's an internship or whether or not it's a job, have that story ready, be fluent in it. Okay, that's something you should never, ever trip over. If somebody asks you a technical question like, explain WACC to me, or what's a cost of equity, or what's a CAPM, you might mess up with that. Fine, but don't mess up your story. If you mess up your story, that is so on you, and it's a shame that you did that. Because if you can't talk about yourself, then you're starting off on the wrong foot. So that's my disclaimer to you all. Okay, that's the kind of the start of it. And like I said, I have my email up here. Contact me. We can talk about these things. I'm very open. Joe, we've had conversations before. I helped him get an interview. Just, I'll try to help you as long as you want to be helped. You need that kind of determination for yourself. All right. So, and now I'm looking. Did you LinkedIn friend request me? No, Terrence. Maybe.
I don't think so.
No? Okay. Well, no, okay. Well, because I get William Patterson students all the time. Oh, that's another thing I would say. If you shoot me a request on LinkedIn, send it with a message. Hey, I took this class with you. Or if you don't even know me, just be like, hey, I don't even know you, but somebody said to contact you. Just let me know why you're contacting me. And then we can start that rapport and have that conversation. Okay? Very important. Okay, so what are we going to do? Callie, you did this last time. Joe, we're going to do this all over again. Why? Repetition is important. Finance is hard. It's not easy. So, and I'm not going to make it like it is. Concepts are difficult to understand unless you work and do them every single day and going through the motions and doing these things. This is how you'll differentiate yourself in the workforce. And are you a finance major?
Yes.
Okay. So, and just one more time, we have finance, accounting, and finance. Okay, excellent. And I want to just be as interactive with Zoom participants as well. Can Zoom just send me majors in the chat? Robert, Angela, Khan, you just send me what your majors are and what year as well. So junior, senior, sophomores, Robert, finance, MBA, masters, accounting. Okay, very cool. Good. Music, entertainment. Excellent, Angela. So MBA, music, entertainment, instant switching to accounting. Very cool. Okay.
I'm a student.
Okay.
I'm one of our guest speakers from the land of everyone, so it's like,
Okay.
so he's, yeah, he's a professional.
That's funny. He's just listening in.
I think so.
Okay.
That's why I asked if you were familiar.
No. Okay. All right. Excellent. So at least I got 3 that are finished. Okay. Great. Okay. So they're difficult concepts, I think, for I think it was Angela. Maybe it wasn't. Let me just pull up my chat one more time. Yes, Angela, music, entertainment. Do you have any have you had any exposure to finance or accounting, Angela? Okay, great. Okay. It's just, look, it's, and I'll just say this. None of the concepts that, or I shouldn't say this. You're not going to walk away from this clear. No one will, because you need to work in the field and kind of understand it. So that's not the expectation here. The expectation is that you can start to become a little bit fluent in concepts, start to fluent in words and things that when you're talking to a possible employer, you're talking to someone that they're going to be able to kind of help you out. I mean, that they're going to kind of be able to connect and say, okay, at least they have an understanding. This stuff is super important.